Hello, hello, hello! Welcome to episode 4 of Quacks Chats, a Bearded Steve podcast. First of all, thank you so much all for the love on episode 3. The burnout chat clearly struck a chord, and honestly, the feedback has been brilliant, and yeah, it's great, and thank you so much. So now, before we get into today's topic, I need to talk about star signs, because let's be real, MBTI is basically star signs for people with too many notebooks and too much time on their hands. Star signs will say Mercury's in retrograde, that's why he snapped at Karen at Tesco's. Nah mate, Mercury's not in retrograde, you're just being a dickhead who wants the last reduced sandwich. Or a Capricorn, which means stubborn, yeah. Or I just really like pineapple on pizza. And MBTI comes along with its own way of thinking. You're upset because Mercury's moving backwards? No, you're upset because you're an ISTJ and someone moved the remote from its designated spot. And yes, I know I've just shat on star signs, but I do know my moon and ascending. Wait, why am I saying that? Someone play the intro, please.
Chat, story spinning, imagine that. Life games and a little sass. Quacks and Chats, a Bearded Steve podcast. Podcast, podcast. Bearded Steve podcast. Podcast, podcast.
Right, so this week we're diving into the INFJ brain, which is a terrifying place to be, trust me. But before we get too deep, let's give you a bit of a warm-up story. So you know how people say Mercury's in retrograde? When this week's gone wrong, like, oh, sorry, I ghosted you. Mercury was in retrograde. Yeah, try telling that to an INFJ, because my brain just doesn't go, fair enough. No. My brain goes, oh no, what if Mercury is really out to get me? What if the universe is sat there watching me mess up this podcast intro for the 60th time? And that's the INF trait right there. I can overthink a teabag. And don't even get me started on holding grudges. Somewhere out there is the person who nicked my pencil in year 3. And to this day, I know who you are, and so do you. Will I bring it up though? Obviously not. I don't want to upset you and have that awkward interaction. But I will seethe every time I see a HP pencil. And then the perfectionist bit kicks in. I mean, I wrote this episode 2 weeks early, and I stayed up till 4 AM the night before my best mate's wedding, rewriting a best man speech that I wrote about a year before, because it was absolutely fine, but my brain went, maybe it's not. Let's tweak it even more. Honestly, that reception got about 25 different scripts for the exact same speech, just with 1 or 2 words edited in or taken out. So yeah, buckle in. Because if you've ever wondered what it's like to live inside the mind of someone who treats everyday decisions like a UN negotiations, you're at the right place. Welcome to the INFJ brain.
Quacks and Chats, a Bearded Steve podcast. Podcast, podcast.
So what does being an INFJ-T actually mean? And why have I added the extra T to the INFJ part? Well, let's break it down. So first up, overthinking. Covered this slightly already. If life gives me a simple decision, my brain immediately turns it into a 20-part mini-series. Do I want a coffee or a tea? Suddenly, I'm sat there wondering what kind of person that makes me. Whether coffee means that I'm too dependent, and tea means that I'm too boring. And even saying that makes me sound snobbish and weird, and that's what my brain is thought whilst typing this out. Then there's perfectionism. Plans are lovely, until my INFJ brain decides there's a much better one at the last possible second. That's why I rewrote my best man speech, and that's why I've scrapped and re-recorded podcasts that were absolutely fine, because they just didn't have the right vibe. And it's not about being organised, it's about chasing the impossible ideal that doesn't exist. Next up is the empathy overload. I walk into a room, before I've even figured out my own mood, I've soaked up everyone else's. If you're angry, I feel it. if you're anxious, I carry it. And it's brilliant when you're trying to support people, but it's draining. And that's why INFJs burn out faster than a candle in a wind tunnel. Then there's the future thinking. INFJs live in their head half the time, fast forwarding life like a dodgy VHS. If you're too young to know what a VHS is, I'm so sorry. I'll run scenarios that haven't happened yet, whole conversations where I've already predicted your reaction, my response, and the fallout. The good, the bad, the ugly. Honestly, every little thing is planned. And it is useful in planning, but sometimes I feel like I've argued with people entirely in my imagination. So before that phone call, I'll be like, it's going to go this way, this way, this way. And it goes completely different, and then my brain fries out. And finally, the weirdest INFJ trait is contradictions. We're introverted people who love people, perfectionists who hate attention, deep thinkers who still fall off chairs, and we want connection but also want to hide under a duvet. It's a living, walking, talking paradox. And for balance, let's compare it to other MBTIs. The ESTP is out living in the moment, on side quest, midnight out, that friend that just disappears, comes back with a llama and a mate called Dave. The ENFP, they've started 15 projects and already forgotten 8. The ISTJ, quietly raging because someone didn't follow the plan word for word. And meanwhile, I'm thinking of what's going to happen in the future and how this podcast is going to go. Even before recording and starting the podcast, I was like, right, how many seasons, how many episodes, what are we going to talk about? And I've literally got my whole life planned out. But it will change, and it's great. And it will change because of that magic letter at the end of INFJ, that T that I said about. So, T, turbulent personality, is characterised by high levels of self-doubt, sensitive to stress, perfectionism, and constant drive to improve, leading to more volatile emotions and higher susceptible to anxiety and criticism. And then you get the other side, which is the A side, which is an assertive personality. They're confident, calm, self-assured, generally experiencing low stress and resistance to external pressures, allowing them to express directly and stand up for their own needs. Again, we'll go into more detail about the MBTI's personalities and all their traits in later episodes. I think it features in season 4, so make sure you are following and sticking around.
Quacks and Chats, a bearded Steve podcast.
And I can hear you screaming through whatever you listen to this podcast through. Alright, Steve, how do you know you're an actual INFJ? Well, picture this. I'm sat in a manager's office, cup of tea in hand, after a long day of being an outdoor instructor. And my manager says, Steve, you're having existential crises all the time. So, sit down, take this test, and it'll help you understand what's going on. So I did it. It was online. It was on 16 personalities. The link will be in the description down below, so you can put in the comments what personality type you are. And yeah, it slapped me with an INFJ-T. And it was like, it was spying on my whole life. It was scarily accurate from how I feel to what actually goes on in my brain. So yeah, again, if you want to know, it's down in the description down below, ready for you to do your own test.
Quacks and Chats, a bearded Steve podcast.
It's now my favourite time of the podcast. Again, like I said last week, every part I love the exact same. But it's community corner time, where the mic is passed over to you. And oh, we've got some crackers today from my DMs about last week. So one listener said that they were so tired they made a cup of tea but forgot the tea bag and sat there sipping hot water for about 5 minutes before realising. Relatable. Good old burnout brain. Love it. And then when you put the tea bag in, it's going to be an absolutely horrendous cup of tea. So looks like someone's reboiling that kettle. Another person said that they got stuck in a lift on the way to work. Instead of panicking, they just started humming the Tetris theme to stay calm, and by the time that they got rescued, everyone in there was humming along. Solid way to make friends. Also, a way to make an enemy. It's great. Copy and paste chaos as well. Someone also told me that they were meant to copy an email address at work, and this is really embarrassing. I would fully burn up and probably hand in my notice. So instead of copying what was supposed to be sent in this email, they went and accidentally posted their entire shopping list into a company-wide chat. I mean, nothing says professional like sharing toilet roll, Monster, coffee and chicky nuggies with the boss attached. Why not? So yeah, from teabagless tea to copy and pasting your shopping list to the entire office, you lot keep proving that every day life is basically a comedy show. Keep them coming. Honestly, this is quickly becoming the favourite part of the podcast, and it just makes me crease up each and every week.
Quacks and Chats, a bearded Steve podcast.
Okay, before we disappear into the weird and wacky news of the week, let's check on what's happening in gaming right now. So, Hollow Knight Silksong is finally just around the corner, launching on September 4th, 2025. So when this podcast goes out, it's already out, and it'll be on pretty much everything you own. PC, PlayStation, Xbox, even Switch. Fans have been waiting for the sequel for years, and it's coming in hot. Second story of the week is Xbox Game Pass just dropped some serious heat for September, which makes a change for the Game Pass. Yeah, Hollow Knight Silksong is part of it. Other gems like Nine Souls, and if you've got kids or you like Paw Patrol, that's coming out as well. But also a heads up, titles like Wargrove 2 and We Love Katamari Reroll are exiting mid-month, so get those hours in whilst you can. Third, speaking of hype, Borderlands 4 is blasting into our lives on September 12th, 2025, with a Switch version landing October 3rd. Think looter, shooter, insanity, set on Pandora's moon, grappling hooks and all. Can't wait. It's going to be a good one. GTA 6 as well, it's going to carry on featuring until it finally releases, but there's a rumoured new trailer due late 2025. Gamers are buzzing. Vice City, playable protagonist is female and male, and Rockstar building it to be the next level game. Can't wait. Not a massive fan of the suspected price. And the last bit of gaming news is the Marathon is delayed. Marathon, Bungie's long-awaited return to form, has slipped its release. Originally set for fall 2025, it's now soon in gaming time. So yeah, expect Skyrim-esque delays. So new games, mod drops, delays and loot galore. The world of pixels never sleeps. Right, now into the weird news from around the globe.
Quacks and Chats, a bearded Steve podcast.
Right, buckle up. These two stories that I found scream 2025, and it's great. So, in China, there's a parrot named Zhao Gui. Sorry, pronunciation's probably completely butchered, but he's gone and bagged himself the world record for not being loud, not for swearing at the postman, but for identifying colours. This bird managed to pick up coloured straw balls and drop them into the right bin. So 10 colours, 33.5 seconds. That's right, a parrot can now pass a test that some of us fail on those dodgy online IQ quizzes. And here's the kicker. It's now officially the fastest parrot in the world at identifying colours. I mean, I'm impressed, don't get me wrong, but I'm slightly worried, because if parrot are smashing world records, what's next? A pigeon winning Britain's Got Talent? Wouldn't put it past the judges. And honestly, I'm sat here thinking I can't even match my socks in under 33 seconds. My parrot mate over here is basically speedrunning life. Guinness World Records gave Zhao Ji the title, and now I'm just imagining the owner flexing. Yeah, my bird can do more in 30 seconds than you've done this whole week. Cheers, mate. Needed that little put down midweek. Yeah, that's Zhao the parrot. Smashing world records in 33 seconds flat, proving once again that birds are officially better at life admin than what I am. And speaking of animals, absolutely showing us up, let's talk about milk. Not the drink, not the thing you put in your cereal. No, Milk, the woman from Pennsylvania who went on live TV to declare that she identifies as a Pomeranian. Yep, while Zhao Ji is, the parrot is out here getting Guinness World Records, Milk's rocking dog collars, tails and a squeaky toy named Larry the Dragon. She even broke a bone chewing on Larry too much. I mean, imagine going to A&E and explaining that one. Yeah, doctor, I broke a bone, gnawed on my dragon too hard. Milk appeared on screen, sat next to Star, her handler. Yes, she has a handler. They met at a rave, because of course they did. And now he takes her for walks, plays tug of war, make sure she sits when she's told. Completely platonic, she says, and I'm watching this thinking we've officially been outclassed. Birds are smarter than us, humans are turning into dogs. Meanwhile, I can't even go through a podcast without forgetting what table the drinks were for. But hey, as long as she's happy, she's not hurting anyone, and I don't need to start introducing myself as the bucket hat, bearded beagle, I say live your best dog life. So yeah, parrots outsmarting us, people becoming Pomeranians, that's the state of the weird, wide world news in 2025. And this is why I love this segment, because life is mad, and sometimes all you can do is have a laugh at it.
Quacks and Chats, a bearded Steve podcasts.
And that's it for this week. We've poked into the INFJ brain, laughed at other MBTI quirks, and even taken the usual trip across the pond to find some weird and funny news. Standard Quacks and Chats, really. Please don't forget to rate the podcast on whatever platform that you listen to this on. Join the Discord, the link will be in the description, and get your comments in for Community Corner to feature next week. Make sure you follow and subscribe as well so you don't miss next week's episode, where I talk about my move up north, a proper respawn into something new. That one's going to be a big episode. Can't wait for it. But till next week, you've been listening to Quacks and Chats, a Bearded Steve podcast. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching Quacks and Chats with the bearded Steve. A bearded Steve podcast.